I'm Mark Douglas with Equus Workforce Solutions, and I'm here with Irene Bustamante Adams.
Bravo. Good
Ooh,
job, Mark.
and you are Deputy Director and Chief Strategy Officer in Las Vegas, Nevada. Did I
That's
say
right.
that right too?
That's right.
Look at that. And you know what's fun is I've seen you now twice in less than 6 weeks, and we weren't traveling for 16 months.
That's right.
So now all of a
So
sudden
good
we're
job.
spending a lot of time together. So I've got a couple topics that I'd like to
Okay.
talk through. I've got probably 5 more I could ask about all the really cool things going on in Las Vegas. But why don't you tell us about the business hubs? Because that's a really big innovation that I think can really gain some traction across the country.
It's one of those new pilots that we're most proud of. So the business hub is focused on the employer. So if you're looking at the assembling line, the job seekers are where you're putting on the frame and getting the automobile painted. But the employee business hub is a showcase of the final product. And that's where we get to focus on the business and their needs, not necessarily the job seekers, but what the employer need for resources and how to tap into the public workforce system. So in the last couple of months, September and October, we partnered with several entities, one being our Title I provider, which is Equus. We partnered with the Department of Employment and Training and Rehabilitation, so the state dollars, and then also several other state agencies, in addition to creating 2 positions that are considered concierge for a business. So just like when you check into a high 5-star hotel, you go to the concierge and they are able to navigate and help you access the entire spectrum of the public workforce system. Sometimes it's not even one of those 17 needs that you might have. It could be something that you want to learn to get, how do you get startup dollars? Not necessarily Title I or the 17 partners in the public workforce system, but that concierge person can help direct you in the right place. So we have had tremendous success making sure to streamline the process for employers so you don't have to run all over the city or the state figuring out how do I expand or how do I grow or reboot my business.
Well, and what's really awesome is you've got one in the chamber office.
That's right. That's the other dynamic thing. Thank you for reminding me about that. So the Vegas Chamber, the largest chamber in the state with over 4,000 business, said we want your hub in our space. We're not going to charge you infrastructure costs, so no rent, no utilities, no water. We just want you to come and provide that resources to our business, first of its kind in the nation. And then the second one was at the Sahara West Library. And the beauty about that space, it has 2,600 square feet. It's the latest technology in both. So as a business owner, that's at no cost to you. And I can have use the Netscape to be able to communicate or collaborate with people that aren't even in the Southern Nevada region.
And then I got word that we have commitment with what, North County? Where,
North Las Vegas.
yeah,
So there are 2 hubs. That's it gets even
I
better.
know.
So thank you. Sometimes it's hard to brag about all the great stuff. So the mayor of Henderson, which is a suburb, they're one of the 50 best places to live, identified by Money Magazine. They have done a phenomenal job attracting uh, diversified businesses to that area. So Google, Amazon, the Las Vegas Raiders Training Center, Haas Automation, which is a huge manufacturer, is moving to the Henderson area. The mayor asked us to be in her city hall right next to permitting, zoning, and her economic development team. So when a business comes to renew their license and they need workforce issues met, we'll be right down the hall and be able to serve the customers. And then the other one is the Dynamic Mayor in North Las Vegas. They just celebrated their 75th birthday. They started out with 2,000 residents. Now they're up to 265. They're the largest industrial space that we have in Southern Nevada. and he just asked us to move into his city hall, but he's even going to go and expand that campus to put us next to other exciting things. They've been able to reduce their permitting process down to 1 day.
That's
So if you
unbelievable.
want to do business in North Las Vegas, it takes you 1 day to get set up. So
That best practice in and of itself needs to be picked up everywhere around the country.
that's right. They have been aggressive and decisive on how to streamline processes. So great stuff.
That's fantastic. The other big question I have for you is around your pilot with Clark County Schools.
Yes, one of the bright ideas for us during the pandemic is we know that in Southern Nevada, 20,000 plus kids graduate from high school. Out of that 20,000, we know that 10,000 of them will not go to a community college or post secondary education. So the question then became, how do we get them contacted with the public workforce system before they come out? And so our investment was in high school counselors. They are the hub of where kids go to get direction. And so we took 5 of school counselors from underserved areas, plus, and then the 5th one was from that central office, so at a leadership level. And for a whole year, we spent educating them about the public workforce system. So the words that they used, that they felt empowered, they felt educated, that they now have the tools to be able to serve those individuals and say, here's another path that's equally as promising as if you were to go to a 4-year college. And so some great stuff. The cohort just graduated and presented their capstone, and now we're bringing in the second group. The other good thing is that people have looked at the model, and now philanthropists want to contribute. So our little small pot of money that we invested is gaining traction, and also people that want to contribute so we can expand it faster.
And is this where I give out your cell phone number so people can call?
No,
All right.
no.
I promise I won't.
All
but if you
right.
know how to get a hold of me, I'll share it.
Okay.
Another big question I have is, the pandemic is not over. Things are opening up. I happen to be out there visiting when, mask mandate changed and all those things are going on. But hospitality, if there's a big industry in Las Vegas, we all know it's hospitality. Can you share with the audience, what's going on around hospitality? What about the workers? And what do you think is going to happen, not only locally, but how we should be thinking nationally and maybe even globally?
So for us, gaming and hospitality, our bread and butter has been for the longest time. I come from the hospitality industry, spending 20 years in corporate on the corporate side. And so I appreciate all the investment that they made in me as an individual to grow. So very much appreciated in our region. Here's the problem is that now that people have been not working because we became a ghost town, went from almost reaching 50 million visitors to 0. Is that people realize now that they don't have to work a graveyard shift or a swing shift. And they, at least if you're older, want a more balanced life. And so we know that 50,000 will not be returning to that industry.
50,000 in Las Vegas are not going to go back to that type of a job.
That's right. And so what do? Are there transferable skills? And these are the kind of conversations that we're having with our local leaders and trying to figure out, and with higher education, what can we do to figure that out? Do we invest in what industries? And so the Regional Development Economic Authority, ourselves, local electeds, and the Workforce Board are figuring out what do we do with those individuals. So you have 10,000 that are not going to go on to any post-secondary, and they're going to be sitting on the couch. How do you tap into that? how do you take those 50,000 and retrain them and put them into the new manufacturing, the IT companies, the distribution centers? So it is a good problem to have. At least we have jobs that are in demand, but we've got to figure it out as a group. We don't have all the answers yet, but those are the problems that are presenting themselves for us to solve.
Okay. And if there's anything you wanted to share with the audience as we wrap up around workforce and maybe your passion about it, what's that?
I just finished the executive boot camp through NOB, and it's been the best experience because you don't go get a degree in workforce, but you can bring transferable skills. So I would just say invest in your staff. NOB has the opportunity. Coming here is learning about best practices has been phenomenal for me. Building those partnerships that didn't know that you could create, and it helps me to think outside the box. So I would encourage people. I know that there was about 500 that came this time, but it does make a difference when it's in person. So I would just share that, keep that in mind for next year.
I'm really excited about next year when everyone that really didn't have an opportunity to come reconnect with all of us gets their first opportunity to see us. I know Ron will put out the dates sooner than later, and really look forward to seeing everybody. Irene, great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.